Hello and welcome to the Ball Card Show, the sports podcast.
For the Sports Collector.
I'm Jason Otero.
And I'm Gary LeMaster.
Season 6, episode 5 in 2026, coming off of a very busy weekend.
My gosh, I was exhausted Sunday night. I don't know about you, but I was
so
fried.
Tired.
Yeah.
And I put my eBay store in away mode last week to give
of the
myself
storms?
that cushion. With the eBay standard envelope. I did a video, that last year talking about that to just try to avoid some more of those claims, and people were still shopping. So I got done. We had the Gr8 show, the Ohio State show at the fairgrounds. Fantastic show. Gary and I were blown away. It was really good.
Yeah.
We heard some people talking about there's a lot of TCG and this and that. I was happy as could be. It seemed like if you had sports cards that people wanted and they were priced reasonably, it was going to be a good show for you.
Yeah.
Traffic was pretty steady all throughout. And then Grove City Card Fest. My gosh, that's the busiest space that I've been in since Shipshewana before it expanded.
It was crazy. Like I think it was just as busy Saturday at the Ohio State show.
Sure.
It was just laid out with a lot more space between the aisles.
Yeah.
So we get to Grove City and it was such a cluster at the beginning because everybody was wanting to talk to Ryan and sell stuff to Ryan.
Yeah, it was right there. Yeah.
It was just like people finally getting through that. We're like, and then it was just, we got 14, 15 deep at one point.
There was no break.
It was just nuts.
Brad stopped by to check on how it was going. We didn't have time to talk. We had 2 or 3 rows deep at the
He looked at me and waved, and we jokingly call Brad the mayor because he is always out shaking hands and talking to people. And he just looks at me and goes, "Can't be the mayor today. Nobody has time to talk to me." He just kept on walking. So
really fun show. You and I both had some really fun buying too. A lot of stuff walked up. Listeners came up for conversations, pictures, all that kind of fun stuff. And that was a lot of fun. So yeah, it was a good time. So people from TikTok that said they were going to stop by and say, "Hey, Thomas Family Cards was one," and his son came over and negotiated. He's a tough one. He's a tough negotiator. But freed up some cash and got himself a rookie 101 Justin Fields. I thought that was cool. He was really excited about that. So anyway, yeah, great show. And then Monday shipping all day long, eBay all day. When I say all day, I mean all day.
I sold so much over the weekend that all I did Monday was go out and buy. Yeah. And then I came home and I didn't touch it, which for me is...
You got to be really tired not to dig through your stuff.
Because once I buy stuff, I look forward to sitting down, getting it all priced out, seeing where I'm at. And I didn't touch it until the next day. I was just fried.
Yeah. Busy week, a lot of fun, great shows, Grove City Card Fest and the Ohio State show that Gr8 did. Those will be absolutely shows that we will be at in the future. Shipshewana is right around the corner, a little over a month.
It's less than a month.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah, it's
March 7th.
Yeah, it's right up. Well, because February is only 28 days long.
I know, but I still got you on that.
That's fair.
That you're wrong. And
either way, it's creeping up on us. Xenia this weekend, Nashville at the end of the month. We're going to be some traveling boys over the next month. So.
Got a local show early March on Sunday in Circleville too. So we're hitting a little bit of everything over the next several weeks. But you know what else happened last week, Gary?
What happened last week, Jason?
The Gr8 report dropped.
Now,
quick reminder to everybody before we get into the weeds on this. Gary and I have a running wager with Jeff Wilson, the Jeff Wilson, as you're all aware,
Jeff Wilson,
that we believe Beckett will continue to tank from the November date of submissions. By April, we're going to find out if we are up or down from that number. If we are correct that the numbers are in fact down, that Collectors has not really invested to the point of immediate growth, Jeff has to do an unfiltered interview with us. And if we lose, we have to wear Cards HQ merch. And he added in that he will be joining us on the podcast just to gloat that we lost. So Gary...
So that'll be
I
fun.
would love to have perfect news. The news is not perfect for us.
It's not perfect, but it's not bad for us. So here's where we started at in November, and we're only measuring sports cards. And then once we talk about this, I do want to talk about the overall trend I saw on the Gr8 report this month, which is very interesting. In November, Beckett graded 35,000 sports cards. In December, they graded 18,000 sports cards, which was almost a 50% drop. Now, that did climb back up some in January. we climbed back to 25,000. So we're still
That's
10,000.
a good jump.
It's a good jump. But we're still down 30%, 35% from when the bet started. We'll see where it lands. The little jump in January was nice, but here was what was really interesting. If you look at that gem rate report, across the board, PSA, still far and away the leader in overall volume, they were down about 3 or 4% month over month across the board, sports and non-sports. And every single other grader that gem rate tracks was up. I think the lowest somebody was up was 6%, and the highest was like 30%.
Interesting.
So PSA is down a little bit. I think that can be attributed to people don't want a 6-month wait for their cards.
This did happen. The last time we saw this trend was whenever that turnaround time was ridiculous during COVID, right?
Yeah, and 2 or 3 companies had an opportunity to really do something.
And they did.
Well, they did. SGC was the one who really made the push. HGA could have been, but it was so badly run that it was just like...
Oh, they had massive issues ethically and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah, it was very badly run. But they had a window where there was a lot of hype behind them. Even Tag had a big jump, and everybody like glazes Tag. I don't know why they grade like 5,000 cards a month. I think FCG grades more than Tag does. Yeah. So that's where gem rate is.
You had a mid or high grade CGC vintage slab.
Yeah, it looked good. It was a bench rookie.
I'm going to say this. That's the clearest jewel casing that exists when it comes to looking at the card. It looked nice in that slab, but nobody's paying. Vintage is a little more of a difference maker on it.
I got like almost 90% of what PSA 6s do.
So better as well as SGC's doing for the most part.
Yeah.
Again, vintage is weird. You get to mid-high grades, presentation is going to have a lot to do with it.
Yep.
You know, the buyers think a little differently about that. So anyway, but yeah, that's coming up. So Jeff, took a stride forward on this one. It might come down to the wire. And at the end of the day, still the reminder is we don't have a whole lot of confidence in what Collectors is doing, but we sure would love for there to be alternative options to grading that have some liquidity, that have a reasonable turnaround time, and have a reputation for being consistent.
The liquidity is totally up to the market.
Yep. It's not up to them, right? But
it's up to the market.
If that happens and we lose, which that would be quite the loss, it'll still be good to go. So
yeah.
Do you want to, you know what? I know what I want to do.
What do you want to do?
I want to kick things up to Delaware, Ohio.
Okay.
Keith at Neuhart Cards with Shop Talk, and he's touching on something that was pretty big news in the last week.
Hi, this is Keith at Neuhart Cards, and this is Shop Talk. There was a lot of topics that we were thinking about discussing this week, but I kind of landed on one that's been kind of at the forefront of the hobby here, and this was the leaked documents from Fanatics about their key stakeholders like shop owners and breakers. So let's just kind of talk about that for a second. Supposedly there was revenue numbers that were coming out. There were leaked secret meetings and revenue sharing and that sort of thing. So, as a shop owner, you see that and it kind of gets your goat up a little bit. You're like, that's not something that we like to do because it is concerning. We have to provide certain numbers to Fanatics under the guise that information will help us with our allocation and our marketing numbers and that sort of thing. So, while you have that at the forefront, you still have to remember, we sat up at the Gr8 Sports Card Show this past Saturday, the Ohio State Card Show. We had a blast. We don't do that very often. We're open here 7 days a week, so we don't do a whole lot of shows besides like the National and Philly and some of those other ones. So it was great. It was well attended. There was a ton of people there. It was split between Sportscards and TCG, and we met a lot of people. We sold a ton of cards. We bought some stuff. We traded for stuff. But we met a lot of first-time customers as well. So it was a really great experience for us. So, again, we can look at those negativity, all the comments and hundreds of comments about, the leaked documents and the information. I can't believe Backyard did $250 million, selling pictures of men last year. That's all great and good, but really we open the doors every day because we love what we do. You know, we love selling sports cards. We love buying sports cards. We love the hobby. We love sports. You know, there's always sports on in the shop. So, you know, we feel like this is like a barbershop kind of atmosphere. And I think card shows are the same thing. You know, I see a lot of people not talking about cards when they're here. They just like the camaraderie, you know, and the feel, you know, of what it's like. So, you know, stay away from the noise, stay away from the background noise, and really believe in what you're doing in any industry, in any business that you're doing. So, again, if you have any questions or want us to land on a topic, please talk to Gary or Jason, send us a message, and we'll be sure to cover it. So, again, this has been Keith, and this is Shop Talk.
All right. You heard it there. Focus on what you love, because the news cycle is just going to keep cranking out
Always.
stories. I think the dynamic is really interesting between fanatics and the shop owners with all the changes that are happening. Some people are very forward and talking about it. Some people are hesitant. Some people make it their whole world. And there's people like Keith that are like, yeah, there's some things I like, some things I don't like, but I got to keep plugging away here.
Got business to run.
Regardless, I got a community that you know
Yeah.
is counting on their local card shop. So
Adjust and adapt.
always appreciate his perspective and the experience. This isn't somebody that's had a shop for 5 minutes, right?
Right.
This is somebody that's seen the different licenses change, the different dynamics, the different expectations, distribution, and all that. So, as always, just like Keith said, if you ever have a question for a shop owner, we're trying to give you access that isn't normally available in the content space. So, give us questions that you have for Keith. If he can't answer it, we'll just tell you he's got to stay away from that one. But there's not a whole lot that would fit in that category. So feel free to send those questions in. Time for what has become one of our favorite segments, according to our listeners, a little show and tell. We each grabbed 3 cards that we picked up over the weekend that we bought at. Did you buy all these at shows, or are these different spots?
No, these are just little. I had hardly anything left from shows this weekend.
right.
I literally just got destroyed. So this is some stuff I bought early this week.
I think all of these ended up being Sunday shows because of a similar situation for me. You or me first. I can't ever remember.
It doesn't matter. You go ahead. You're ready, because my stuff is weird and lower end, but it's cool.
All right, I'll start off with a kind of staple vintage football card, a 1959 Jim Brown in a Beckett 5. Jimmy. Jim Brown is tough to buy with margin in Ohio for the most part, because when it comes to the Ohio football space and vintage, like, he's kind of the legend that everybody's chasing there. But this one presented really well. The Beckett slab does not bother me when we get into the 50s and we're talking mid-grade. That's not a pause for me. I'm not an exclusively vintage dealer. That Beckett I'm happy with. I don't mind too much. What do you have for your first one, Gary?
My first one's just super cool. You don't see these with the packaging very often, so I'll show the packaging first. It's the old school. They called it digital replays by Movie Vision. And I found the Barry Sanders with the packaging. And you guys can actually, we tested this. You can see, like, it's like a full, like a full 1.5 second clip of Barry Sanders running. It's not your typical sports flicks type card. It's not super valuable. It's like a $25 to $40 piece whenever you see it somewhere, but you never see it with the packaging. So
you set that out on your office desk or, on your shelf. It's got some eye appeal to it. That's a cool one. Up next for me, the first time I've ever done this. And, historically I've been like, this is kind of stupid, because if the card itself can't carry the value, it shouldn't need extra help. Well, times have changed. Obviously, the market is down on this particular metal, so it's not a bad time to grab it. But I finally grabbed one of these silver bar cards out of Eminence. This is Vince Carter. It's numbered to 3. No direct comps on it. There are some auto versions that go for a lot. It's got an ounce of silver. I'm considering this too, Gary. I'm already in this space. Can I grab one of those a month of a player that I think will carry beyond
just
the highs and lows, and just have some of that sitting around? It's probably not a bad play.
No, I mean, I've been buying a couple ounces of silver a week all year this year. So I'm planning on doing that every single week for the rest of the year and see what it looks like at the end of the season.
I die and the kids just put it all in a burn barrel to smelt it down. I don't want to sell all this, but we can smelt this, right?
My next one is super cool. I have no idea what it's worth because it's never sold. But you remember the old Upper Deck Finite set?
Mm-hmm.
That's the McNair numbered to 100.
Cool.
No recorded sales of the card ever. And I love having stuff like that. This will be coming to a Whatnot stream this week.
Nice. Speaking of Whatnot, I just told you a little bit ago, I'm trying to get pre-bid set up. So if people want to look, we'll probably start seeing us integrate that into all of our shows at some level. But I know there's sometimes those of you listening want to be a part of a show and you can't make it to that one, and you saw a card we were running, you really wanted it. You'll have a chance now to go in and pre-bid. The nice thing is you just set your bid and leave, and if you win it, you win it. But that'll be a little commercial there for everybody. My turn, right?
Yep, your turn.
Leaf product, don't at me. Jack
Still
Nicklaus and Nick Price Cut Auto 101. This is out of the Leaf Executive Collection. It's framed in really nice. It's in a little slab. Jack Nicklaus autos are cool. There has been a little more love to some of those golf autos lately, as people are speculating about what will happen with some of those licensed products.
And that's actually a cool set. They did some really cool. Do you remember I had the who was the UCLA John Wooden? I had the John Wooden. It was dual with John Wooden and an NBA legendary coach, old school 70s guy. I forget Jack. I don't know. He coached the Lakers for that one season before everything went sideways. Anyhow, it was really cool from that set.
Oh my gosh, I forgot one.
What?
The 101.
The 101. Well, you dig. I'm going to show my last one while you look for it. You got it? Go ahead. You got yours ready. Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Diamond Icons, Pete Alonso, 1 of 1, majestic patch.
That's gross.
Just a nasty, nasty card.
Last one for me, again, on the theme of just weird, cool stuff. 2001 Pacific Aurora, on card, Terrell Owens auto.
Cool.
Yeah, they're not numbered, but early on card Hall of Fame auto.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So
that's sweet.
That was my 3. Nothing crazy this week. Nothing big, just fun.
Hey, why don't you set up our guest that's coming in today, Gary?
Yeah. We have Logan Harris from Gr8 Sportscards joining us today. It's going to be a lot of fun because Logan started, I'm wanting to say he first got into the space from an employment standpoint back in 2019. So he's ridden the COVID wave. He's a little younger than Jason and I, but he's really built something awesome between their show setup, and then they've built a really thriving Whatnot operation as well. So we want to talk to Logan about his journey, some of the things that have been successful for them. Hopefully you guys can pull some tips out of it. But yeah, joining us now, Logan Harris from Gr8 Sportscards. All right, we are joined, as I said, by Logan Harris from Gr8 Sportscards. Logan, I've known for several years. We appreciate you being here, Logan. Thanks for joining the Ball Card Show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Now, the first time I met you, you were working at Game Time Collectibles down in Circleville, Ohio for Bill and Bobby and Rob. Our Central Ohio listeners, most of you know who those guys are. And you were, a sophomore or junior in college at that point?
Sophomore, yes.
Okay. And I remember walking into the shop. We lived in Circleville forever. And I walked into, I've known Bill forever. And I said, who is this kid? You hired somebody? The idea of Bill or Bobby actually hiring somebody was so foreign to me that either one of them were going to do that it took me a minute. And, but yeah, that was the first time I met you. And then I know you left there and went and worked for Ryan at his shop for a while. And I saw you there a few times, but I think the next time I actually radared, was one of the first times you had ever set up at Hilliard, and you were right inside the door, right on that corner. And it was either your second or third show. You hadn't been doing it very long, because I remember you had one little pop-up banner and you had 1 or 2 showcases. And I think probably the biggest card you had in there was a $400 or $500 card. And we got to talk a little bit. You were like, yeah, I'm starting to do this. My dad may come along at some point. I don't know. I'm still working at the shop, but I kind of want to do my thing. And here we are 5.5 years later, and Gr8 is a recognizable, known name in the hobby that sponsors a lot of shows, that is going to be at just about all the big shows in the Midwest and even into Dallas. It's been really cool to watch as you grow.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's funny that you bring up the start and everything, because I remember in college we chasing retail and everything, and I would always run in to Walmart's, and my most memorable one is the Prison Basketball LaMelo It
Anthony
was
Edwards.
LaMelo and Tyrese Halliburton, and they had just putting out hanger boxes. And Gary walked in and he's like, "You taking all of them?" I said, "I was literally checking out." And he's like, "I'm sorry, Gary." And he's like, "Hey, you got here first." And which was funny because we went back and ripped all of those. And what's funny is the Logan that works for us now, Logan Hill, was his first time like really getting back into cards. So and he ended up getting the itch from that. So
it's crazy. We talk about those COVID days as if they were forever ago, and in some ways they were, but man, it was something. You would buy something in a Facebook sale on Tuesday. By the time it got to you on Saturday, you could triple it and stick it in your showcase and it would sell that weekend. It was crazy.
Gary, I'm going to tell on you because my wife's still mad at you about the release of Mosaic. So Mosaic basketball drops. He says, "Listen,
this was Zion year. This was
Zion and
this was Zion time."
Gary calls. He goes, "Listen, I know you're just getting into this. And I know you don't buy a lot of wax, but there's this new product, and Panini is saying that it's shorter printed than anything they've ever done."
They did say that. They told us that.
And so he's like, "I'm hitting every Meyer Walmart." This is back before they were like putting restrictions on it. And I said, "Cool. If you get a lot, let me buy like 5 or 10 off of you." And he said, "Sure." He gets like 40, and I shoot him a text. "How'd it go?" "Crickets." And I know exactly what that. He ripped through every one of them. I didn't even get a taste. I'm sure base rookies were doing $25. So you got to do what you got to do there.
Sure.
Oh, that was the days. So like, I know how you kind of got back into things. When in that process, when did you decide, hey, this is how I want to pay the bills, not just have some fun with and collect. This is what I want to do.
So it's always been a dream of mine to open up a shop at some point in my lifetime. But did I really know how that was going to work out? No, I didn't know the fundamentals of it. I didn't know the back of it and everything. So it's something I always wanted to do. But when we got sent home from school during COVID, I just came off of elbow surgery, and I couldn't work. I couldn't really do anything. So I had all this stuff from like 2005 to 2017 just chilling under my bed.
Not a bad run.
No.
Not a bad little 12-year run.
When we got sent home. So, and this is when like Deshaun Watson's silver prisms were doing like $150, and Drew Lock base prisms were doing $40-$50 and everything. And I'm just pulling 10, 20, 5 of them just out and throwing them on eBay, and them getting like snap clicked because I'm the cheapest one on eBay because I'm just getting rid of them. And then I looked at my wife and I'm like, I wonder if this is something I could really, really do. And then next thing you know, we like going into 2021, 2022 ish. I really started hitting it hard to where, so my mom is, God bless her, love her to death. She's really weird about like finances. So when I went to college, she was like, had access to my bank account. She had access to everything, just making sure like, all right, he's got enough to pay his rent. He's got enough to get gas. He's got enough to get food, stuff like that. And at one point she saw all this money coming in and coming out, coming in and coming out. She called me one day. I'm literally
Are you selling drugs, Logan?
Exactly. I'm literally making a lunch.
Ruin the story. Jeez.
I'm literally making a lunch meat sandwich, and I call and I'm like, she's like, "Hey, bub." I'm like, "Hey, mom, what's going on?" She's like, "Be honest with me, bub." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's just crying. And next thing you know, I hear is, "Are you selling drugs?"
On eBay.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I'm like, "No, mom, I'm not." And she hangs up and calls my dad. My dad's like, "Jen, he's selling sports cards." She said, "No way he can make this much money selling sports cards. There's no way." And it's kind of crazy how it is now because like my dad's a full-time employee. My sister's a full-time employee. Hill is a full-time employee. It's just kind of crazy how like she thought it was one thing when it was completely opposite.
If you could go back in time, you'd say,
Yeah.
If you go back in time, you'd say there's a lot of things to be concerned about with this business, Mom, but that's not
Yeah,
it.
no, not at
There's
all.
plenty of things.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that early year or two, okay? Because I think first off, I don't know if we've addressed it. And Gary, shame on you for not announcing it properly. But you have two collegiate athletes in this interview, both from Ohio Christian University baseball.
Yeah.
Now, one of us is old enough that he was one of the coaches of Logan's coach. And the other's there, but we are guys that could have gone pro if we wanted to. And I just want to let that be known that
The
we played
paints
at
were an option.
Well, clearly Logan didn't want to. I didn't want to. Here we are.
No, I didn't throw hard enough.
Well, there's that too. You got to just Wakefield that, just all knucks, nothing but knucks at it. But let's jump into that first couple years. Most people, when they find our podcast, right, are new to the space. We kind of try to be a little more of like educational. Here's what it's like to try to do this to make money. And they're in this chaotic season. I remember, I feel like the chaos is still here, but it is getting a little more routine now. What do you remember when you went from this being a side hustle to like treating it as a business? What were like, if you had to pick a couple of memories or a couple things that you were like, this has to change immediately. What do you remember about that season of growth where it was like becoming a thing?
The biggest thing that I can tell everybody is the money doesn't matter at the start. It's the relationships that you build. And that's the biggest thing that I started and realized, like, if I really want to turn this into a true business aspect, you're not going to make a ton of money at the beginning or ever at times. But you're going to build the relationships that last a long time. I know the first person I ever did a deal with, his name's Ben Hartwig. He's from the Central Ohio area here in Columbus. And I just did another deal with him this past weekend at the Gr8 Ohio State Card Show. Mm-hmm. And it's just crazy. We're 6-7 years later now, and I'm still doing deals with the guy I first bought cards off of. And it's something that I built a strong relationship with from the beginning, and it's matured all the way to this. It's not always about money. It's about the people, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's really good.
Rabbit Trail, though, you were talking about Gr8's show. You, and I'm saying this because you already dropped your video on it. You bought a big card.
Yeah. That was kind of crazy. There was multiple Wimbies that walked up to the table that were 5 figures plus.
Yeah.
That just randomly were there. And it's kind of shocking how it like ended up playing out.
Yeah. It looked like it was a little dicey for a minute. Is that if you're watching this, you haven't seen Logan's video, go watch Logan's video, but it's the flagship true black Wemby first license top.
First license.
One of one Wemby card.
Yeah. So it's cool too, because obviously, like, if you really think about it, it's second year tops for Curry, but like it's truly the first year license tops for a lot of players.
Yeah.
And Wemby obviously probably being the 5th biggest name out of the entire set.
Yeah.
So,
That's a great one.
It was a big card. I had heard a little rumbling that there was something going on over there, but I didn't even know what card it was till I saw your video yesterday. So I was like, okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, a lot of people were like talking about it, and they came up to the table and they're like, hey, did you hear there's this like really crazy 101 tops Wemby walking around, and it's sitting in one of my Zion cases behind the table. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know all anymore.
Anyhow, Jason, go ahead. That was just a little rabbit trail when you mentioned the show I wanted to bring up because it's really cool. So if you're out there and you're looking for that card, Logan has it. I don't know if he wants to sell it anytime soon, but he does have it.
Not sure yet.
Did I see you picked up a Myles Garrett shield too?
I did at
that was a sweet card.
Yeah,
I saw that as well.
Grove City Card Fest.
City Card Fest. Yeah.
Crazy
that was a cool
2-day weekend.
Yeah.
Crazy 2-day weekend.
Yeah. It was really busy for us. Well, it was a good weekend. We were exhausted. All right. Your business is growing. You're starting to formalize this. Here in a second, I want to hear about that family dynamic because you do see that happen in this space as it scales. I think there's a little bit of familiarity. Maybe we just go there now. your business grows, and we hear a lot of times as it scales that family gets involved. Sometimes that works out really well. Sometimes that's tough for people. What's it like working with family?
So 100%, it's super, super tough at times because you have to at times take the family aspect completely out of it.
Yeah.
But like me and my sister were always super, super close growing up. My dad was actually my best man in my wedding. So it was always the goal of mine to bring those two on and everything because I knew I could, one, trust them with anything,
Yep.
and two, just have people that I know are with me that will make this so much more enjoyable. Because I mean, I've heard it from my dad consistently. There's nothing any better than seeing your kid succeed in something that they're truly passionate about. But it's also, there's not a lot better than sharing it with the people that you love either.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't hire a lot of my family because they're all nurses and stuff like that. I can't pay anybody that money.
Can't afford that.
Were you kind of nervous when you were going to ask them? Like, did you, or was it something that this was kind of on the radar? If it's possible, this is where this is heading, or
So before this even started, my dad knew this was going to happen. I never thought I was going to bring my sister on. But my dad, it was 100% like it's going to happen at some point. But my sister, it always made sense in the long run for like a content purpose, and like because she's just super smart with technology.
yeah, it's the opposite of Gary and I.
Right.
I'm not.
Well,
I'm not good with it either. So.
and then you rounded out your team with another Logan, your friend Logan Hill, who we love as well. And it's confusing sometimes because I'm never sure which Logan I'm talking to unless you're standing in front of me. So,
Correct. Yeah,
now
we played. We played college baseball together at OCU. So, just one of my best friends and everything. So,
if you don't play baseball at OCU, what are you doing with your life? Is what we're trying to say.
Exactly.
That's basically. All right. I know that with Logan Hill, I saw that you guys had this whatnot following. We started paying attention to live selling right as you guys were catapulting. Like your growth was becoming, it was literally just like an explosive level of growth that was happening. And I think there were a lot of card guys that in 2025, they were like, okay, live selling isn't going anywhere. It's for real. And it's a very viable option for laying a foundation for my business. Talk to us about you being a somewhat early adopter of that live selling, and then how much of your time is spent as a business on whatnot every week.
So we're actually live right now, which is funny that we're talking about it. I mean, we're live at least 2 times a week for 5-6 hours plus. So a long, long time is spent running cards on auction on whatnot and everything. The reason why it made so much sense for us is we saw how much business was moving to online. I mean, malls are shutting down, it seems, left and right nowadays. Card shops are at times having less foot traffic here and there now, and you're not getting as much product now with Fanatics and Topps and Panini because they're limiting all access to it and moving more online. So we saw that, and we saw that trend, and we were like, it would really make so much sense for us to go online. And at the time, we thought it was eBay. And it just, at times, it would take so long for cards to move. And we really wanted to buy at scale. So we were like, how could we sell 500-600 plus cards in 5-6 hours? And whatnot truly presented itself. And we started a little over a year ago, January 17th, 2025. And it's just, right now, I think we're sitting at 75,000 followers, and it's
75K.
Yeah.
I think I saw you guys when you were like closing in on 20. Would that have been early last year?
Yes.
Guys.
Yeah,
Logan,
it's really grown to something substantial. And what's crazy enough is, like, here, I'll pull up our things. We've sold almost 55,000 items and have a 5-star review, and we have an average ship time of under a day.
Let's go.
Yeah.
The
So like
metrics are right. Yeah.
it's all about like just treating your customers the right way and really trying to we put so much effort into this, and don't get me wrong, we lose our butt at times. Like we ran a Curry Giannis dual auto that's probably $800-900 and it did $400. So
Yeah.
I mean, but you have to give somebody the people good cards to really catches their attention, and that's something that we really try to strive for, is the quality and not quantity, even though we're moving quantity.
I don't
So,
want to talk over you, Gary. Yeah, go ahead. I'm
you
going
know,
to keep
you
asking questions. I want you to jump into this.
on an average week, you guys are on at least twice. We're on 3 times usually. One joint show with both of us, and then we each run a solo show.
Smaller shows.
Smaller shows. Yeah, we go 150 auctions max.
Yep.
Because neither one of our old rear ends has the energy to go for 5 or 6 hours. We did that one
It's
time.
a grind, dude.
And
I
we
don't
were
know
about
how
to
you do
just,
that.
yeah.
It's
A
exhausting.
lot of Monster zero sugar white Monster energy.
There you go.
Coffee.
It's 2 hours or so is about my limit before I'm like, okay. But so on an average week, you guys are selling what, 1,500 cards?
Yeah, I would say so. At minimum 1,000.
Yeah, and shipping is crazy. So let me ask you this question, because this is something that is a common theme among whatnot sellers that are trying to build. We are further along that path than a lot of people are, but we're nowhere near you. We're closing in on 10,000. We have a 5-star rating and that stuff, but we're closing in on 10,000. So we have a long ways to go. We're still learning all the time. One of the things that we see, and I'd love to hear your perspective on it, is it feels like almost every stream, and whether it's ours or we watch somebody else's, about 90 minutes in, it hits a brick wall. What's your experience with that? And is it worthwhile to push through it and eat it for 20 minutes to get to the other side?
There's times to where like we sit there and we watch and it's hit a brick wall, to where like we just try to really push through it. But one thing that I think makes us a little different in that area of hitting that so much is every 50 cards we drop $100 plus card that just will run on sudden death. Try to keep everybody in and attentive and bring in new people. I mean, so many people are just swiping through shows,
Yeah.
and then they see a Brian Thomas Jr. downtown running. They're like, oh gosh, these guys actually run some of this stuff instead of just having it as a picture on their screen to try to get people in.
Right.
So a lot of that's what we really try to do. And then we'll drop like random giveaways like, hey, if you get us to 500 bookmarks on our next show, we'll drop a blaster giveaway. Or if you get us to so many followers, we'll drop
500 bookmarks on a show. What a dream.
Yeah, we'll drop like a PSA 10 slab or something like that. So we always try to just get people's attention as much as possible and just keep a hold of it.
Yeah.
Can I jump in here with one?
Yeah,
Gary?
absolutely.
So you mentioned that you always had a dream of having a shop. And I think similarly to Gary and I's discussion, which we've had, where we were even looking at lease structures. We almost signed a lease on a spot in the spring in Columbus. And we hit pause because we were seeing a lot of things change. We were seeing a lot of different things with the Fanatic Directs accounts, the type of cash flow they were demanding on. Essentially, if you want to pay to play, you better be ready right now. There's no scaling into it. You need to have the funds right now to buy it when we need you to buy it. And then shops were popping up everywhere, right? And this is going on, and you are growing like crazy. Whatnot's taking off. And if I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, you made a decision to say, hey, right now, it sounds like that the best decision is not to sign ourselves a lease on a brick and mortar, but it's to have a space where we can really scale whatnot. Like, talk us through that decision, because I think there are a lot of people that do what Gary and I do that aspire to have a shop, and we would hate for them to make a hasty decision. What were some of the things you considered? Correct me if I'm wrong on that story. But if that's true, what were the things you were considering when you made that choice?
Yeah, just more so, like you said, I mean, the whole hobby is about to change completely. Panini's not going to have any licensed products. They're literally just going to fall into what I think in an abyss and end up trying to sell because they're not going to have any means to compete with anybody else
Right.
because they just lost all the licensing. So what really was vital in that decision was how much Fanatics is really cutting
Mhm.
product. I've heard horror
Oh yeah.
stories so far on like what's going on, and it really sucks for them. So would I really want to dive in right now when I may not necessarily have the bankroll? Because you're talking about $100,000 a week is really what they want, and you buying products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I wish, but I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
There's just no way. And then if you don't do it, you're gone. So it's
Mhm.
really, really tough as far as that goes, because there's people that really, really want to open a shop, and wax is what people go to shops for. It's not singles. It's not to hang out. It's to buy and open wax. That's what it's about now. No, there's not really a lot of guys going into shops looking for singles, because right now it all that matters to a lot of people right now in the hobby, in the industry that we're in, is can I make a quick buck?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
You're making us feel old, but we agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
the collectors aren't coming into shops anymore. And why would they, when you can open up an app on your phone and sit
Mhm.
there and you don't have to leave your house anymore?
Right.
So
So
we actually have started looking more and more into something for that, but it wouldn't be like in the Columbus area. There's just so much around here,
Yeah.
Mhm.
unfortunately. But there's nothing in like Dayton.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's Ohio Card Exchange, but they do a lot of TCG now.
Right.
There's not really like a big sports card shop. So I think what it really is going to intend to is, if you can build the brand, it's just like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
This
Yeah.
is good. Yeah, keep going. Yeah. You build that brand out. So you decided, all right, now's not the moment. We're going to double down on whatnot. What were the tweaks you made when you made that decision? Because it sounds like that was the timeline when you basically said no to doing this big thing. We're going to get really focused here. That sounds like it was right around the time when everything just blew up on whatnot for you.
So it was right around found out my wife was pregnant.
Mhm.
So at some point, I was like, well, I can't just sit here and stream in the house anymore, because at 8 o'clock, I'm going to scream and it's going to wake up my daughter, and we're going to have
Yep.
serious issues then.
Yeah.
So we ended up looking into an office space. So we're here in Dublin at Rise, and we're in a building that has like 7, 8 offices just all lined up in a
Mhm.
hallway in this building. And we were like, we're going to really push whatnot. We're really going to push the online right now, because that's what we really need to do to get where we want to go.
Yeah. Do you think that there were changes in what type of inventory you bought as you were growing?
Yes,
Okay.
100%. Yep.
So let's go there a little bit. Let's talk about, what are you looking for? Like 50,000 items, you've got some data.
Yeah.
Like, you've got some information to go off
Yeah.
of. Maybe what are the things that you avoid that people are surprised at? They come up to your table. We hear it all the time. I got so much good whatnot stuff for you. And when it starts like that, we're always like, oh no,
Oh no.
right? What is the stuff that you're like, everybody says run it. I kind of avoid this, or these are the factors that I'm looking for to know
Uh,
this is the type of stuff worth running.
Base rookies and like base PSA 10s. Like, nobody wants base. You want to find a card that has the best. It has to have eye appeal. If it doesn't have the eye appeal, nobody cares. So like the perfect card is like a prism white disco. Look at how beautiful, like, you shine it around, there's these discos. Look at how beautiful that kind of card looks. Like, it's going to look way better than a Jackson Dart base prism.
Right.
Sure.
or an Omarion Hampton base prism, because Jackson Dart base prisms everybody's going to really want anyway still.
Mhm.
But like you would rather have the cool looking hollow card than a base card. And then you really want so a lot of people think when it comes to whatnot stuff, it just has to be an okay name. Like Chris Paul. Chris Paul doesn't sell. I don't know about you guys. I had a Superfractor 101 for like 3 years. He doesn't sell.
Right.
So it has to be guys that you know will move, because if not, you're going to be really upset when you hit start auction.
One of the toughest lessons Gary and I had in that first few months is we were starting to get traction, regular buyers, people requesting thing is like, we have, the type of stuff we buy. We don't buy super expensive, but there's going to be some weird stuff in there. And that's intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we would get so attached to the comp of like, guys, don't sleep on this card. You're not going to believe this has 3 comps at 50. No one cares on whatnot. No one like there are people that do. There are other dealers, right? There are other dealers that care about that comp.
They do not care about what you say.
Yeah. A tough lesson for us has been like, do they really want 20 Shoheis in this 120 card show? Yes. They are not tired of them.
Nope.
Show me all the Shoheis.
Yep. If you ran a 120 card show and 120 of them were Shohei and you named it the Shohei Massive Run or something, nobody's going to get tired of them. Like, nobody cares about your Albert Pujols gold out of.
We found out because we had a lot of really cool Albert Pujols stuff.
Like, I have a bunch of those refractors now, and I'm like, yeah, they're $20, and they may be cool to me. They don't care.
Yeah.
So like that's one thing. Like when you run, you decipher on like what everybody wants. I mean, we're 50,000 items deep now. We have a good idea of what people want, and what people want is the new exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is hard for us to hear because we're so committed to like the unique rare. Yeah. And I think when we say unique and rare, we're saying like stuff that if you found it and you're like, oh, that's like a $30 card, right? Like a lot of that kind of
Curry
stuff.
base rookies. Like,
right.
Yeah, I'm running this week. The card's never sold before. It's numbered to 100. There's no sales ever.
But Gary and I have to
on whatnot.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And Gary and I have learned that like you can do just that. You just need to understand that you are depending on a very niche follower base that's continually looking for that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And on a platform this big like whatnot, you're talking about marketing with the potential of capturing this. Yep. Now, Gary and I are okay with that a little bit to some extent, but I want to jump a little bit more into like the flavor and style of shows next, because I think we are the anti-sudden death, anti-yell, I need this in the chat. Although I have started using that as a tool. I'll be darned if the algorithm doesn't respond to people commenting, So talk to us about that philosophy, because you are a person that I respect. I love your business. Everybody that I know that you have relationships with, like that's where it really stands out when you talk about relationships. But when it comes to the approach, Gary and I have been vocal about, we don't want people screaming. We don't want people telling comps. We don't do sudden death, this and that, and this and that.
Yeah. So
give us your elevator pitch on this. And it's okay to be like, what you're doing isn't going to work at this size or scale, like push back at us. But I want to hear, what do you think maybe we're missing out on?
So as you grow, as the following comes, you'll want to change to sudden death, just because you're going to move so many more cards at scale. It's not always about maximizing the dollar at times when you can maximize the quantity of cards you're moving, to where maybe one card goes under comps, but one card maybe goes over. It's just a good fundamental fluctuation that's going to make up for it at the end, to where what we decided we wanted to do was do we want to run 150 cards or 250 cards for 5 hours on extended bidding? Or do we want to run 600 cards in 6 hours on sudden death?
Is there a threshold in your mind when of people in your room consistently where the switch to sudden death makes sense. Because I will be honest, the idea of running sudden death with 25 people in the room is terrifying to me.
50 to 60 people.
Okay.
I would say it, because that right around the 50 to 60 people, you probably have 30 that are actively bidding. If you have 25 people in your room, you may only have 10, 11 people actively bidding.
Right.
Like right now, we're live. We have 150 people right now in the stream, and I guarantee you 60 to 70 are active bidders, and the rest are, hey, when you
When's
run
the
a
givey running?
givey?
When's the giving?
Or I'm just here to watch because it's entertaining. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not a screamer, and neither is Hill. We get loud at times,
Right.
100%. But when I think of screaming, I mean like
The debut guys.
Hey, don't drop names.
I don't
I
have
will.
any issue with what they do. They have their business model and it works for them. But I will not scream.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you guys don't want to drop comps. We drop comps at times because I think people don't understand. Like, they see like a Steve Young downtown. They're like, oh, that's really, really cool. That Steve Young downtown's like $400.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about this for a second, and then we'll go.
Wait.
Yeah, let's have this little bit of a conversation before it goes for 50%.
Yeah, we
people-
do that.
do
We do that a little
people-
bit. Yeah.
Do people basically pocket watch that? Like, do you get
We've had
like
people,
if you ran 500 cards, do you have cancellation requests because they say you said there's a comp at 200, but the last one did 100? Like, does that happen?
We 100% have, but it's never a comp issue. It's always like, because it's always like, I didn't mean to swipe. Or
I just
sorry,
saw my bill. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, my best friend grabbed my phone and started swiping, or my son did this and that, or
Yeah.
I swiped, but I didn't realize I didn't have the funds for it.
Right.
What do you mean? Why are you on?
You did have the funds. That's why I'm trying to ship this to you.
Yeah.
Why?
The payment cleared.
And so Whatnot actually penalizes for cancellations.
Yes, if you initiate the cancellation.
No, every cancellation. So like, if you go to accept a cancellation, it tells you like so many cancellations, and we'll have to like do whatever they do. So we don't accept cancellations. We have show notes that say bid responsibly, and
that's what we do too.
But like, if you're bidding on a Trevor Lawrence contenders patch and it goes for $1,000 because somebody shill bidded you up, that's different.
Yeah.
Right.
100% different. But
Right.
if you bid on a Trevor Lawrence patch and you bid $25 and it's a $20 card and you're upset with us,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't make you bid that much.
Right.
Right.
But at the same time, my goal is to sell cards.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. That's what we tell. We're unapologetic about the fact that we are here to make money. Hopefully, you as a buyer are going to get a good deal too, and everybody wins.
Yep.
That's the goal, that we buy right enough that we can't be wrong. Sometimes we get real close to being wrong, though.
Yeah.
Now, when you
When
guys,
we were trying Mondays and Tuesdays out, that happened a lot to us.
Tuesdays rough.
I don't know. Some people do okay, but we found some nights it just didn't work for our people that we have right now.
Yeah, so that's another thing, is like, we tried everything. Like, we ran at night, we ran in the midday, we ran in the mornings, and right now what we found is at 1:00, our customer basis is there. Like, they like the 1 to 7s, they like the 1 to 6s, and everything. But like,
your team likes that too.
Yes, because they can get home a lot earlier.
Yeah.
So
when you guys got into the Whatnot side of things, I know we're spending a lot of time here, but we get so many questions about this. So did you guys go into Whatnot with a defined growth strategy? Like, this is how we're going to gain followers. These are the benchmarks that we want to hit before we increase inventory levels or average value of the cards we run. Or did you just jump in with both feet, grind it out, and figure it out as you went?
Jumped in, grinded it out, and figured it out as we went, because like
Okay.
a lot of these people have reps and everything.
Yeah.
The only person I can talk to at Whatnot is this automated voice person, this AI.
So you're not on the 2.9% plan.
No, it really ticks me off that I gotta only talk to an AI, because I have legitimate questions that like I want answers to. Like at one point we were doing mystery packs, and I could not get in contact with anybody, but we kept getting banned. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Tell me.
I have
I'll fix it.
I have
I'll
the
do it,
checklist. I have the average. I have the average. I have the floor. I have the ceiling. All the cards are up here. Like, what am I doing? There's a camera on the packs. Like, nothing's getting messed around. What am I missing? And then it came to I finally got in contact with somebody, and it was, we just don't want people doing it. Well, thanks. I wish I would have known that
before you cost me thousands of dollars shadow banning me.
Now I'm a year later and I can't get a premiere shop because I'm banned.
Yeah.
Or I have these strikes that take 100 and some days to go away.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
That's always tough. But for the most part, like, it was just jumping in, seeing what happens, and like, when you realize like when you can increase inventory and stuff like that, it's just when you grow. Ultimately.
Right.
Do you see yourself in the next few years checking out some other live selling platforms in addition?
With how much, it really just depends on what happens in the next couple of years, because with how much money's and whatnot, I mean, how in the heck did they get Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
They give away $1 million.
Yeah. Have you seen, like, have you gone down the
giving away $1 million?
Yeah. Yeah, no, like, have you seen the rabbit trail that they're on with like some of these like other categories on Whatnot? There are people walking through their living room. This lamp that is plugged in and turned on is for sale. 15 seconds sudden death. Let's go. Like, it's the scale of live selling isn't going anywhere. Like, I still have my eBay store. I'm trying to figure out what to do, because at some point you scale yourself into just a bunch of time shipping.
Yep.
That's where I am. I'm at 51,000 listings right now. Shipping's taking too long. I can't keep doing it like this. But live selling, I have immediate feedback. I'm learning in 3 days how well I bought. Not in 3 months.
Nope.
I'm learning within 3 days. Did I buy the right stuff? Did I not?
And your
did I present? Yes. And I think, like, to your point, that money now, whether Whatnot's positioning for a sale or whatever, I don't see anybody trying to collectors this thing, right?
No.
Like,
no.
This thing is turning through a lot of money.
A lot of money, and I just don't.
Well, they're working towards an IPO.
I don't see anybody. They were kind of the first to it, and they did what they needed to do. I just don't see anybody really taking over.
Yeah.
Like, Whatnot and Loop came out pretty much simultaneously.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've heard of anything from Loop?
Nobody uses Loop. I never even use the free credits that I get every year from my PSA membership. You get like $70 of credits. I don't use them.
I was presented partnerships for both, and I took neither.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I was like, okay, is this partnership still available? With Whatnot and Loop. And it was Loop. Yeah, we can make something work. Whatnot it's too late.
Nah, bro, you missed.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I really did miss it.
Yeah.
I really messed up.
This is a space where you have to be ready to jump on stuff quickly.
Immediately.
There's not a ton of regulation, which I'm not a fan of a bunch of regulation in a space. There's a lot of debate back and forth about but the reality is this: things shift really quickly in how people are buying, what they're buying, the trends. You know, you saw this at the show scene. All of a sudden, for the first year in a while, ultra modern football, the first 6 weeks of the season, weren't flying out of the showcases.
No, it was.
But everybody wanted Iverson, Jordan, Kobe, late 90s, early 2000s, Brady stuff, like
Ken
not
Griffey
late 90s,
Jr.,
obviously, but
those kind of
yeah,
guys. Like,
yep,
and
yep.
what's funny is like we were talking about like old stuff doesn't move on Whatnot. The number one thing we sell on or Whatnot is Michael Jordan and Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, same.
Everybody
Yeah.
wants Michael Jordan and Ken Griffey.
Barry Sanders would be in that category for us.
Barry
too.
Sanders,
Yeah.
like old school.
Forever.
Yeah. Legends. Legends.
Kobe stuff sells like crazy.
Yes. Legends sell, but your stars do not sell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even if it's super rare, even if it's low number.
Herschel Walker, absolute stud, Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
Won't sell for a lick.
Good luck.
Yeah. Detach yourself from the comp.
Yeah.
If you're going to run that stuff.
Because you're going to get 10%.
Yeah. So Gary and I now would say that we have like a second filter. Like we can go through a value box and be like, all right, these cards probably comp out of this. But when you do Whatnot enough, it's almost like a second way of looking at it. That's what's the advantage I have of having the eBay store too, because I basically have a way of processing all of it.
Exactly.
But it's very different numbers.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't understand that. I can hold up a $10 eBay comp and I tell you, we can run that 10 times, we will not get over $4.
Yep.
Or I can have a $3 eBay comp and I can tell you I will get $10 out of this card every time and people are happy paying.
Yes.
So I think there's like a filter that you develop just from the reps there. But go ahead.
And it goes into every deal we buy. Hey, we're able to run this on Whatnot. This is eBay. This is Showcase. And we set it goes into 3 different boxes, and that's where it goes. Whatever's getting ran on Whatnot gets untop loaded and gets put in a brand new fresh mag.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on eBay, you get it scanned and you get it listed as soon as possible. And then whatever goes in Whatnot or Showcase, you put it in a spreadsheet. And you get it ready for the show the next weekend.
Yeah.
And that's how we go through deals now. Like, okay, this Bo Bichette 101 tier 1 patch is super, super cool. Nobody's going to care about it on Whatnot.
Yep.
eBay, you're probably going to find the collector for it. And you can put it in your Showcase until it sells on eBay. And it's a cool looking piece. But you're not going to get anything for it on Whatnot. Tony Gwynn 2000 Bowman Chrome Refractors.
We get cooked
card
on that stuff. Yeah.
$50 card. You're not getting that on Whatnot.
Yeah.
Nope.
You may get $5.
Yep.
Because nobody cares.
Yeah. All right, then thanks for the deal.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that knows how good they got it. There's always somebody that can appreciate it.
We ran before we realized, like with this blue X Fractor buyback thing, we ran a Concanapple X Fractor yesterday, and it did $25, and we're like, hey, it went for comp. Not when you go check what they're doing now because of the blue X Fractors. They're $150. Then somebody said, thanks. You're welcome for your free blue X Fractor.
Yep. Exactly. One last Whatnot question here from me. I don't know if Jason has any other ones. This is another one that, again, you have more reps than we do. Obviously, you guys have 3 people that are running throughout the week. So one of the things that we also get asked a lot about, and we ask a lot, we're starting to get a feel for it, but you do things a little bit like we do. You won't run big stuff right off the rip. You kind of get a feel. Is there a moment or anything you're looking for in the activity in the room where you go, okay, now it's time?
When that number of viewership climbs up.
Okay.
That's what you look like. And then it's like, all right, let's test the waters. Oh, wow, that went really bad. Let's scale it back a little bit. That did pretty good. That went for comp or a little bit over. Let's start running some of the bigger stuff. And we have it all spaced out strategically as well, to where like the better stuff is in the middle of the stacks. So when you get down to that middle stuff, it's about time for the room to start climbing up in numbers.
Right. Okay.
Yep. It just really matters of like when people are hopping in the stream and what's going for what.
Okay.
That's
a question we get a lot.
Yep.
Let's talk about current challenges at scale. So you've had tremendous growth. Everybody dreams of having that kind of growth on Whatnot. Honestly, very impressive, Logan. Super impressive in the space. Now you go to shows and you have a filter. It's not, I hope I sell some stuff out of my showcase. It's, I hope I sell enough out of the showcase. I hope we find some cool eBay stuff. I hope we find enough of the right whatnot. And I think a lot of people getting into the space think of shows as the place where we sell cards, right? And that's certainly a part. But why are you sponsoring shows where you partner, obviously, and you get these good spots? Like, I want people to understand the pressure that you feel at scale when you set up for a show. What has to happen in that show for you?
I have to buy. I have to
And
buy a
and
lot of cards.
yeah,
A lot of cards.
Yeah.
And it's all stuff that I have to be able to move within a certain amount of time, because if I'm stuck with it, it's not doing me any good. It's
Liquidity gets tanked fast.
it's $400 it's a $400 card that I have $400 or $360 into. That money's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it not selling? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I could really use that to buy 30 cool whatnot cards.
Yeah.
So
And I could do that 3 times this week.
Yep.
Yeah.
My show strategy is how much and what can I buy. It's not what am I going to sell. It's not what's going to end up going. It's what's going to come in.
When did that shift happen? Because nobody starts there. You get there. Gary and I are in a spot where that's our biggest pressure week to week now is buying,
I'd say halfway through last year.
Okay.
The cash flow started ramping up to where we were like, and it's all about like the relationships you build. It goes back to the
Sure.
40 minutes ago when we first started talking. I'm not worried about going to a show and selling because I know the people are coming to the table and buying stuff. I know who's coming.
Yeah.
I know who's coming. So
because of those relationships.
Yeah. I know they're going to come and they're going to drop 1,000, 500, 10,000 even at times. So I know that I'm going to sell stuff. I have no idea what I'm going to buy. And that's the scary thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So how's the show scene in your opinion? Like, you're setting up at the larger regional, national, Midwest shows. You're at all of them. You're at every show we're at. What do you think about the state of the hobby if you're just looking at the show scene right
Bonkers. It's
we
unreal.
keep waiting for it to cool off.
It's unreal. Like first quarter shows are always
good.
It ain't nothing like what we've seen so far this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
been crazy.
Holy smokes. We went to Dallas. I could not move. I got tired of walking around and bumping into people. I went behind a buddy's table all Saturday and just sat there.
Yeah.
I didn't care anymore. I was like, I'm getting so annoyed getting bumped around. I'm just going to sit here. And at one point it was 2:00 and I'm looking at Hill and I'm like, hey, we're going to the hotel and I'm taking a nap. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And
I like you letting out your grumpy inner old man.
Oh,
I like it.
It's just, there's times to where it just gets so, you deal with it so much, it just ends up like, starts to wear on you throughout the weekend. And like on a Saturday in Dallas, there's really not much left. So why am I just sitting here getting bumped around and smelling somebody that probably hasn't showered in 2 days?
Well, that was what I told Jason when we left Grove City on Sunday. We have reached the point with brand recognition where we're pretty busy most of the time, but it ain't nothing like what you and Ryan and Shannon have to deal with.
Lines.
And the fact that like we'll get 5 people waiting to talk to us and I'll look down and Ryan's got 60 and you've got 15 and Shannon's got 8 or 10 people and they're just patiently standing there waiting.
The fire marshal had to cut off Ryan's line because it was blocking the entranceway and the fire hazard.
And the fact that by the end of a show, especially back-to-back days like what we all just had this last weekend, you guys are still smiling. You're still happy to talk to people. By about 2:00, I have my murder face on. I'm not a happy person most of the time.
And that's when all the 110% guys walk up with their nukes and you're just like, listen, you didn't start on this side of the building. I'm the 15th guy and you all must not know how cheap the ball card show is. We're not your Huckleberry on this one.
You still have those.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the reality is for us, back to relationships. I know you've done this a few times. Brent does it all the time. We will, when somebody walks up to us with those monsters, we go, hey, you see the sign with the Gr8 on it and the one
We
right
send you
across
guys all
from
the
it?
time.
We send them there because we're like, they're going to pay stronger than we will on this stuff. I'm happy to buy it from you. They're going to give you more money. And every time Shannon gets something really weird that walks up, Brent just goes, go see those guys. See the big white banner over there?
You're like,
They're
I
the
got
right
a
guys
couple
for
of
that.
these bricks, and I know some dummies.
100%. I know what, and that's what's nice about like the relationships you build. You find people for everything. Like I had a Saquon Barkley gold rookie Kaboom PSA 10 walk up to the table at Grove City, and I had just bought the Wimby the day prior, so I was like, I don't really have the funds to go buy another
to go do this again.
5-figure card right now. So it's like
museum piece.
Go to Brent, go to Clay, go to Ryan, go to those guys because they're probably gonna buy it.
They're ready.
Yeah. And that's what's nice about like building the relationships is because your friends are gonna send you stuff that they ultimately they're like, yeah, I'll buy it, but it's not going to be at what you like.
Yeah.
Ultimately. So
and it's the exact opposite conversation for us. We won't give them what they like on the super liquid, ultra modern stuff. But hey, you've got that card you've had for 5 years and everybody thinks it's cool, but nobody wants to buy it. Chances are one of these two is going to pick that up from you. So
you got a Derek Jeter silver foil SPX rookie?
I do.
There you go.
It's sitting in my showcase.
Yep,
it's an
exactly. Yep. Go to the ball card show.
Yep. We got you. We got you.
Gary, let's ask him the question before we wrap up here that we always try to do whenever we get an interview.
Yes.
So I'll jump in here with Logan. If somebody walks up to you, I'm sure this happens on a regular basis. I want to start selling on Whatnot too, right? But you have somebody who's like actually committing. They're getting ready to get started. So if you were starting all over again, and you can only give somebody like just a couple, maybe it's 1, 2, 5 tips. Like what would be a couple things in hindsight? You're like, focus in on this with your Whatnot business as you get going.
What gives you your best chance to succeed?
Yeah.
Be yourself. Truly, don't try to be anybody else because authenticity sells. And and authenticity is truly what ended up having me get the 101 Wimby. Is like I'm the same person I am off camera, on camera. And the only other thing that I could say really is just listen to your audience. Because without them, I mean, you're not going to sell anything anyway.
Yeah.
So truly, it's not deep. Really a monetary thing because like you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the people, it doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Spot on.
Gotta have the audience. Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, Logan. Let's blow you up. Tell people how to get a hold of you, follow you, get in the stream, follow the content, give them the whole spiel, baby.
Yeah. All right. So we're on YouTube, Instagram, all the socials, pretty much, Whatnot, all that stuff. It's Gr8 Sportscards. It's GR, the number 8 Sportscards spelled out, and you can follow us pretty much everywhere except Twitter. I don't do Twitter.
We fully expect you guys that are watching, that are loyal Ball Card Show listeners and viewers, go follow Logan's stuff. It helps him. It helps us when we talk to other people, say, hey, Logan got a nice little boost. You should come on the pod.
Yeah,
if you're bringing case hits in and you already know what percentage we pay and you want a stronger look, go straight to Logan. We're cool with it. There's plenty to go around.
Won't hurt our feelings.
Give him a shot. Logan's like, you guys are setting me up for 95% offers here.
No, if it's the right card, I'll pay 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just got to be the right card.
Yes, sir. All right, Logan.
Logan, thanks so much, man.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
Thank you guys for having me. It truly was awesome.
Alrighty. Thanks.
Awesome, brother. Thanks again, Logan, for joining us. If you guys want to check Gr8 Sports Cards out, first and foremost, they're going to be at just about every major show in the Midwest on a weekly basis. Also, you can follow them on Instagram if you want to have some fun in a stream that's a little different than ours. A little bit more of that fast paced, little hyped up type situation, but with
Sudden
good guys.
death.
Yeah, sudden death.
Hey, you're gonna hear chat. You're gonna hear chat.
Yeah, you're gonna hear all those things, but you will find them on Whatnot under Great Sports Cards as well. So again, we appreciate Logan coming on. Thanks, last thing that we wanted to talk about this week, and normally this is something we would do early in the episode, but we wanted to see if you guys would stick around for a few minutes after an interview. There was a little bit of news this week, a little bit of controversy. You may be familiar with the IG and Whatnot account and the influencer by the name of Packman. He's got a huge YouTube following, a really big Whatnot following. And Dan, the card man, did a piece on this last week, and it caught my attention. And it really is something that as a industry, we need to be cognizant of and understand that there are lines that you don't cross when you're selling things. Is that a good way of putting that, Jason?
Lines you don't cross, or if you want to be careful how I say this. I don't have to be careful. I want to be careful in how I say
Yeah, that's fair.
Lines being crossed or creating an environment that is not transparent.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar
lines were crossed.
Yes. If you're not familiar with what happened, Packman ran a full, I believe it was a full case, maybe 2 cases. I don't remember. It was a large quantity of the new Topps Midnight basketball.
Expensive product.
It's a very expensive product. It's a $1,000 box. And it may be up from that, now, but yeah, it's a small number of cards, and they were doing a player break on Whatnot, which is a big checklist, and it's going to take a while to fill.
Doing a player break is a way to get more money for the break.
Yes. Yeah. It's a way to put more money in the breaker's pocket, which again, that's fine. People don't have to buy anything. He's allowed to do whatever he wants to do. But what's not a good look is when you start kind of berating your chat and using guilt or aggression to get people to buy things. That's a bad look. And one of the things that's really important to understand in any business, it's not your customer's problem if you paid too much for something. It's not your customer's job to just hand you money. You have to create value, and you have to create an environment where there is an exchange that both parties are happy about. And when you don't, you can't be surprised when there's backlash.
Well, and here's the great irony for this kid. I'm going to be a little bit aggressive.
Sure.
I remember when I first got into the space, he was posting these ripping videos, and I was like, man, it would be really nice to be a rich kid and just rip cases of stuff and, rip a case of something and be like, yeah, I don't know, maybe tomorrow it's Luminance.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it's Flawless. Tomorrow it's 15 Black Label 101s from the National. But don't make the customer feel the responsibility of your time and effort being spent or your margin when we've all watched you lose $3 million opening boxes over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Here's my little fiddle for you, bud. You decided that your lane was wax and breaking. The problem is anybody with eyes and the ability to compute basic math, which I'm not the best at, has been able to track all the net losses opening wax. So when you show us, thank you for showing us products. We've seen some big hits. We've seen some cool stuff come out of there, but we've also seen that it didn't seem to matter too much. Now, all of a sudden it matters what comes out of the box.
Right.
And you're using things like saying the G word. I'm not going to use the G word, but I'm going to stop.
Yeah. You're manipulating.
You're depending on people being stupid.
Yes.
There's idiots out there, but you're hoping they are. I mean, lower the price. If you got the right card in a showcase for 6 months, you had the wrong price.
Yeah.
Unless you're selling something that's never been seen or is never going to be found. But I assure you, it's not Topps Midnight Basketball.
Nope.
At prices higher than your competitors.
Quite a bit.
That's where I had
a bit higher.
And listen, I get the emotional piece of it. There are times where we'll be in a Whatnot show and we've got the next 5 cards we're running are all bigger ones that we paid stronger on. And it's been a rough night and people request a card and then they don't even bid on it. Or everybody's saying, run this card. And there's 500 comps at $100 in the last month. And you're sitting at $20 in the auction ends. I know how it feels.
Yeah.
I know it can be frustrating. At the
it's
end
also
of the
the
day,
risk you take.
That is a me problem. That is an inventory problem on my end. That is me not being able to present this card in the best light. That's me not being familiar with where the numbers are. So Pac-Man, you and everybody else that rode this COVID wave, it's time to learn that people are doing math now because they've lost their hat ripping wax. So if you are not okay with a thin margin and you don't have a direct account, kick rocks. It's not happening.
It's going to be really,
it should
really
be
tough
hard.
for you.
It should be hard to sell that product at 50% to 100% over comps.
Yes.
It really should. And that's okay. And it should be hard. And it ain't for everybody, buddy. But if you want the clicks, just keep ripping cases. Just take just doming cases left and right. That'll be there. Breaking's not easy. Accounts are drying up left and right. It's not for everybody. But by God, don't turn around and make it their fault.
Right, exactly.
Nobody will pay your price on the hottest NBA product of the week.
Yeah, it's
you did that.
It's not your customer's problem. It's your problem.
Exactly.
And blaming your customers for your problem is not a good look.
Right.
The easy money in this hobby that a lot of these breakers have had for the last few years is gonna start going away. Like we've noticed it. We see guys who used to have 100 to 150 people in their room at all times when they're breaking a new product have 25 or 30 now.
And I'll say this, everybody has a bad day. I've had whatnot shows where I let my attitude get the best of me. I'm frustrated. I don't understand. I'm like, what do you guys want? Everybody said they wanted this. I'm on the hook. I go buy this and nobody spent money on it. I understand all of that. But what I'm saying is it's not the buyer's fault. And the moment that happens, unfortunately, it's going to affect this following. It really is.
Sure.
We're going to have loyalists that don't care, that just love the content. But this idea that it's easy money in this space, that ship has sailed.
Yep.
There's money and there's plenty of it, but it isn't easy. So
a
quick reminder, this weekend, Xenia, Ohio. If you've never been, really fun show under new ownership. So we're excited to see all the changes, developments that happen with that over this year. Whatnot, every week, 3 times a week now. Gary and I each will have a solo show, and then Sundays at 4:30 this Sunday, we have some really fun stuff. Again,
yes, we do.
Check our Whatnot shows because you're going to start seeing pre-biddable items. So if you can't make it, you can still have a chance at that card. And anything else I'm forgetting?
No, I think that's about it. Xenia this weekend. We're open on the 14th, and then the end of the month, Nashville, 20th, 21st, 22nd, big 3-day banger show in Nashville. If you're not in Ohio, but you're close there, come say hi. We'd love to see you.
That'd be awesome. This has been the Ball Card Show, the sports podcast
for the sports collector.
Bye now.
Peace.